So what happens is, for example, for women, enhanced blood flow into the vagina means that the vaginal walls will engorge. It means that it will swell up. Promoting blood flow to that area actually brings a lot of hydration, so a lot of water because of the blood. And that increases the lubrication inside of the vagina. So what happens is actually the thickening of the walls makes the circumference of your vagina actually a little bit smaller. And what happens for men too is this engorgement of the penis. And the penis is actually made of a very spongy muscle. And what happens is when the blood flow goes into that area, it soaks up all of that blood and it gets hard and also stands up because of this blood flow. And I've had a lot of cases where my customers have told me, Kahe, I know this is a little bit too much information, but I've never seen my little brother so big in my life. I've never seen it so big in my life. Formula, and the difference between these and also the benefits that it will have towards not only sexual performance or sexual enhancement or sexual experience, but also with our energy levels. And so I had the desire to pursue medicine. And I think this came from being able to volunteer in high school in hospice when I was studying in Vancouver. And I was also interested in Pharmanex and age-lock technology. So actually my application to HKU was on RNOx and age-lock technology research. So I ended up graduating from the University of Hong Kong in the Faculty of Medicine. So under Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences and a minor in genetics and genomics. And I worked at a hospital for about a year or so. And I started to compare my life to my parents' lifestyle. And I realized, yes, we were both making money. But the value of that income was totally different. And I started getting worried that I wouldn't be able to achieve this dream life that I had because I was stuck in a system that's not designed to get me to where I want to be. And I know, being a doctor is a great career, great income as well, and you can help a lot of people. But I could already see the direction that my life was heading towards. And honestly, I was really scared. What ultimately woke me up to this was seeing my mentor at that time retire. And he had the most fantastic career, 40-year career. He published multiple research papers that I was thankfully a part of as well. And of course, he saved many, many, many lives. But the day that he retired, he left the office with just a single box with his entire 40-year career in it. And seeing that, it really broke my heart. I knew that the moment he stepped out of the building, stepped out of the hospital, his income would completely stop forever. And don't get me wrong, like I know that he made a lot of money, but I couldn't understand at that retirement party why we were cheering and congratulating him for retiring because this guy was the hardest working person that I knew at the hospital. And he told me, Kahe, you have to work hard just like me. And he told me that in his 40-year career, he never took a single holiday, never took a single sick leave. And I didn't understand, for what? Never having time for his wife and his kids. He ended up actually having a divorce even. He worked 40 years and ended up retiring old and alone. And that was the life that I was scared of living. And that was the life that I didn't want. So I'm really grateful that through my parents, I actually had a fallback plan that I started online and part-time. So that day that my mentor retired, I actually quit being a doctor. I handed in my resignation letter. And that was actually the best decision of my life up to now. And I think people can say, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, or in Chinese, I think with a golden spoon. I was really lucky that my parents had started this before me. So right now I have income coming in from 18 different countries, from all of my virtual franchises, even places that I've never even been to before. Probably half of the countries I haven't even been to yet. And I'm partnered up with New Skin, which is amazing. Right now I actually conduct my business online. I talk in front of hundreds of people, talking about the type 5 lifestyle, talking about digital nomad, talking about social media, talking about marketing, talking about health, and talking about wealth. But what I really love the most is that I have the freedom to spend my time as I please. So I can travel a lot. I can gym whenever I like to. I spend a lot of time with my family, and I can visit my friends all around the world, and I still generate income at the same time. So I'm very, very grateful for that. So today I'm actually going to be talking about Venix and sexual health in general. So if you can see over here, there are actually 3 different Venixes that are available in the market. The first Venix is Venix USA and Venix Hong Kong. The second one is Venix Korea. Venix Korea is split into 2 different types. And if we take a look at some of these products, Venix wasn't able to launch in Korea until this year. And the reason why was because the amount of ingredients and the key ingredients in here was actually far stronger than what they allow into the country. So not approved by the KFDA. And Venix had to change their formulation to be able to come into Korea. So if we take a look at the market itself, Korea doesn't have Estra 3 because a lot of women post-menopause have quite a lot of problems and symptoms that can be treated with medication. And if Estra 3 came into Korea, it would be such a knock in that market. And Venix didn't come into Korea because a lot of men in Korea have quite a few sexual dysfunctions that they have, which can be treated by in a medical sense with medication. So these kind of products weren't able to come into Korea. But right now it has launched, and I'm actually going to go into it. So first of all, I'm going to go into the Venix that's available in Hong Kong and the USA. So what we have here is, over 30 million men in the US itself. 30 million. They experience some degree of diminished sexual function. So for example, like erectile dysfunction, or maybe unable to ejaculate, or maybe not being aroused at all, or not having any kind of morning erection, not being able to have that kind of blood flow into that area. And around 43% of women have some kind of experience with sexual dissatisfaction, especially after menopause and especially postpartum, so after giving birth. I would also say that a lot of smokers have problems with with their sexual experiences. It causes a lot of injury to our blood vessels, and it's unable to let the blood flow properly to that area. So what we have in the USA and in Hong Kong is Venix, which has a trademarked formulation that has these 3 key ingredients in there. So the first one that I want to talk about is this ginkgo biloba. And ginkgo is widely known to promote a lot of blood flow, but specifically for our sexual functions, it provides blood flow by inhibiting the actions of platelets. So what platelets do is it causes coagulation in our blood. So it makes sure that the blood will clot when you have some kind of wound. But what we do is we prevent that from happening, so it allows the blood to flow much more easier. So this means that it promotes the blood flow into the brain, It also promotes the blood flow into our fingertips, to the rest of our bodies, and also to our sexual organs. It also has very great antioxidant effects in there. Another thing that is incredible is our cordyceps sinensis. So our cordyceps sinensis that we have is CS4. And this is actually exclusive to Nu Skin itself. This is only available to us. And the way that we process this through fermentation, that processing is also exclusive technology to Nu Skin Enterprises. So what cordyceps actually have is they have a lot of essential vitamins and a lot of essential minerals that are in there. And this CS4, I mean, you can buy cordyceps in the market. But the thing is, what kind of cordyceps are you buying? Are they these cordyceps sinensis CS4? Are they not? Actually, cordyceps sinensis CS4 is very, very expensive if you buy it in the market. I think maybe a small batch of it, from what I saw in Hong Kong, it was over 25,000 Hong Kong dollars. Very, very expensive for just a little bit of this cordyceps. And how they process it and they use it is just by boiling it and making a tea or some kind of tonic that actually doesn't give you the key ingredients that you need in there. So what this has is there's a lot of vitamin B in cordyceps sinensis, CS4, and vitamin B is very well known to give you energy, provide you with energy. And a lot of minerals, I can go through all of them, which is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, iron, etc., etc. There's actually so many, but one main component that I wanted to talk about was actually selenium. So selenium is provided in the CS4, and selenium is very good for psychological functions. So it provides you with serotonin, it makes you feel happy, it also makes sure that your muscles are very healthy, and this increases the energy that you can create in your body. So if you can see over here, it says increasing the ATP. So ATP is adenosine triphosphate, which is our main energy source in our body when we break down glucose. And this will also help increase our sperm count. One other thing is the L-arginine. So L-arginine is a naturally occurring amino acid. But this amino acid, so this protein, when it's broken down, it gets broken down into what we call nitric oxide. And what nitric oxide does is it is great for regulating our blood flow and regulating our blood pressure. So essentially what this L-arginine does is it's a vasodilator. So what it means is it opens up our blood vessels and it allows the blood flow. So what you can say is, as it increases, all of these components increase blood flow, not only to our brains, but also increases it to our sexual organs. Yeah. So what we have over here are some clinical trial results where we can tell that the Venix actually has a much higher increase in sexual well-being in male subjects, especially after 12 weeks. So compared to a placebo even. So with the placebo, it's barely anything, 12%. But with Venix, it's a much higher increase in their sexual pleasure, in their sexual experience, in their sexual performance. So this actually is really great for both men and women. It's a better alternative to Viagra. So if anyone actually has a question about Viagra, you can ask that later in the Q&A after this whole thing. There are some amazing clinical trials and research papers that are made just particularly for this Venix. So if you want to get into some of the literature that's there, it is very interesting reads. So let me get into the Venix in Korea. Korea actually split it into two. The first one is Venix 1, which is more fertility focused. So the two key components in this is actually the maca root and folic acid. So maca root, this is actually used by the Incans, like ancient Incans in Peru. It was used as a root to increase the vitality and the manhood of warriors before they went out for battles. Give them stamina and give them strength. So what we do use is this black maca root, not red maca root that you find very commonly in the markets outside. And what this maca root actually does for you is it has a lot of minerals in it, essential amino acids. There's a lot of vitamins provided in here. But most importantly, what the maca does, it alleviates a lot of menopausal symptoms that we have. So for women, you know, that heat, hot and cold, heat rash, and also a lot of sexual dysfunction. So being dry in during your sexual performances, not having any sexual desire whatsoever. This actually helps with that, and it increases and regulates our hormones. So what the maca has been found to do is actually increase our sperm concentration, increase our sperm mobility. It means the movement of the sperms. So a lot of men who when they ejaculate, especially nowadays, where we have toxins in our water, toxins in the air, where we have smog and everything, it actually lowers our fertility by not allowing the sperm to move properly. And a lot of the sperm is actually not produced properly even. So even if you do have a lot of concentration of sperm, most of it is not functional. So over 40% is non-functional for certain men right now. So what happens with this maca root is it increases that fertility. Another component is this folic acid. So folic acid is very, very necessary, especially for pregnant women or women who are preparing to have children, because folic acid is necessary for cell and blood production. And it is necessary for the normal development of the fetus. So what this fetal neural tube means is the central nervous system of the baby. Without this, actually the baby comes out with dysfunctions because of the lack of folic acid. This vitamin B9. So what this does, it actually helps prevent changes in DNA that leads to diseases and also cancers. It also increases your fertility. So why we really need this, especially before pregnancy. I think a lot of women here, maybe who have been pregnant before, you do know that prenatal supplements have quite a lot of folic acid in it, and that's because it's essential for childbearing. Venix 2 is more stamina focused. So what they do have is the same ingredients that went into Venix, USA and Hong Kong, but the formulation of it is a little bit different, because this ginkgo that is available in Korea is not 27% extract, it is 25% extract only. And also the CS4, the cordyceps level has to be decreased. So when we take a look at the ingredients, it's actually the same ingredients, but the reason why I can't put triacin here and put the TM there is because it's not the same formulation. And in the Korean Venix, they've added testofen, which is actually a fenugreek extract. So this fenugreek extract is incredible. It increases your sexual functions, it increases your libido, your sperm count. Most importantly, it increases your testosterone in your body. So especially for males. Women also have testosterone in their body, but particularly for males, especially after male menopause, where testosterone goes down. So what happens is, for men, when testosterone goes down, they have less sexual desire, but ultimately they actually gain weight. So if you see a lot of middle-aged men or maybe slightly elderly men, you can see that the distance between their desk and their chair is a lot larger because their belly comes out, what we call beer belly, right? It comes out as they age. And this testofen will help that with the testosterone. Another thing that's added into this Venix 2 is this bee pollen. So bee pollen was known throughout ancient texts. So ancient Egypt, ancient China, Persia, all of these ancient testimonials and texts have information about the benefits of bee pollen for men's stamina. So this actually eases quite a lot of the menopausal symptoms that you have. Plus, it's a really strong antioxidant. It decreases inflammation. It also decreases stress. And it increases your sperm count and your sex drive and your endurance and also your fertility. So it's very, very well known in our historical text. And right now it is proven through clinical trials and research papers. So if you can take a look at some of these results, the yellow line over here is the results for testofen, which is fenugreek, and the white line is for placebo. So if you can see, actually there is an increase in the testofen even through 12 weeks. So the testofen creates more and more testosterone that you can use in your body. So total testosterone is the total testosterone that you have in your body, but free testosterone is testosterone that you can use. Sometimes what you see from outside is people claiming that it increases testosterone in your body. Yes, it might increase your total testosterone, but does it increase the free testosterone that you can use, that is required? With Venix, it is able to do that. So what we can tell from over here, this AMS score actually means the aging male symptoms questionnaire. So basically, the higher your score is, it means the more symptoms you have. So fatigue, no endurance, low sperm count, cannot ejaculate, no morning erections. All these kind of things accumulate as you age. So the lower this score is, actually the better. So if you can tell from the testofen, it actually decreases the symptoms that you have of an aging male. If you want to take a look at some of these clinical trials and also some of these research papers, please feel free to go through all of that. They're actually very, very interesting reads. From there, this is the same thing that you saw previously, but I wanted to focus on this one itself. So this one actually shows the morning erection frequency for men, especially after 12 weeks. So sometimes, on average, some men can't even have one morning erection per week. And that comes from age. That comes from a decrease in testosterone. That comes from all these aging diseases that we have. And what the Venix does is actually it increases the average morning erection frequency. So it means more times during the week do you actually have this rise. And also the sexual frequency is increased too. So you can see on the right hand side over here, after 12 weeks, maybe some couples don't even have sexual intercourse, maybe less than one time a week, or even just once. Oh, this is per month, once per month. Now it has increased all the way to at least one time per week. I think that enhances quite a lot of marriages or relationships that need that extra boost. So what Venix does is it actually increases your sperm production. It increases your vitality and your stamina, increases your libido, increases your sexual desire and your arousal. So not only are you able to perform, but you're able to feel the need to. or actually the desire to have intercourse. What I'm showing you over here on the left-hand side is actually the vagina itself, and on the right-hand side, the penis. I think a lot of people who know about Venix have a misconception that Venix is only for men. Only for men. That is a complete misconception. What Venix does is it really improves the blood flow. So what happens is, for example, for women, enhanced blood flow into the vagina means that the vaginal walls will engorge. It means that it will swell up. Promoting blood flow to that area actually brings a lot of hydration, so a lot of water because of the blood. And that increases the lubrication inside of the vagina. So what happens is actually the thickening of the walls makes the circumference of your vagina actually a little bit smaller. And what happens for men too is this engorgement of the penis. And the penis is actually made of a very spongy muscle. And what happens is when the blood flow goes into that area, it soaks up all of that blood and it gets hard, and also stands up because of this blood flow. And I've had a lot of cases where my clients, or sorry, my customers have told me, Kahe, I know this is a little bit too much information, but I've never seen my little brother so big in my life. I've never seen it so big in my life. And I've heard a lot of couples that have had much more pleasure and much more joyful and happy sexual experiences with one another because of Venix. And this is, the smaller circumference of the vagina and also the larger radius of the penis itself. So both in its own will give you a more enhanced sexual pleasure. What I want to talk about next is actually the prostate formula. So prostate, you actually need good nutrition before 40 years old to be able to maintain your prostate health. So I know that women don't have a prostate, and you might be wondering why I'm talking about prostate here. Actually, my major in biomedical sciences, I studied and I researched melatonin and prostate cancer. So prostate was one of my main focuses in university. And what we do know is you really need to maintain great nutrition as you're aging. Particularly for men. And this reduces the risk of problems after you're 40. So if you're between 20 to 40 years old, I would recommend to go for a prostate exam at least every 4 to 5 years. It's a very simple procedure. One finger is inserted into the anus and you can actually feel the prostate. And if it's enlarged, then, you really need to go for some treatment. But most of the time it's a very simple procedure. I would recommend a lot of men to go for this procedure once every 4 to 5 years if you're before 40. If you're after 40 years old, I would definitely recommend between 1 to 2 years or maybe maximum 3 years. Please go and get a prostate exam. And the reason because of this is prostate cancer is what we call a slow cancer. It's like breast cancer too. At the beginning, it doesn't seem like anything. And it could be years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years before a problem arises. And once that problem comes up, it's actually within a few months or maybe within a year, you have a much bigger problem. As in you can go from stage 1 all the way to stage 3 or stage 4 within a few months, with a few months to a year. This is why it's a slow cancer. It starts off very slowly and then progresses very quickly. Actually, it's kind of like our new skin income. Our new skin income also goes like that. But to be honest, this long-term protection for your prostate, it needs to be done in your earlier years. So if you're in your 40s already, and you want to be able to prevent this, and you want to be able to protect yourself from this prostate cancer, you need to have some extra extra kung fu, extra kung fu, I don't know, extra kung fu, extra things that you need to do. So first of all, melatonin is also really important for your prostate health. And it's not just your prostate health, it's also for your cervical health and also for your breast health. And melatonin is a hormone that comes out when you're sleeping. And a lot of people who are having night shifts, so let's say people who work at nighttime, or people who are maybe night security, or people who sleep very, very late, who don't have a regular sleep schedule, the melatonin is not produced in your body, and that actually produces high incidences of prostate cancer and cervical cancer and breast cancer. So please do try to sleep as best as you can. The first thing that we see is the saw palmetto berries extract. And saw palmetto, this extract is kind of like cranberry. So we all know that, if you have a UTI, like a urinary tract infection, or you have some kind of problem with your renal, so your kidneys, a lot of people would recommend to drink cranberry juice. But cranberry juice, the problem with that is that there's a lot of sugar in it. So what you do want is the key components of this cranberry juice, which is also in this saw palmetto berries extract. This really supports your healthy prostate function, and it also improves that urinary problems. So a lot of men in their 40s, 50s, 60s are waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And you have to sleep throughout the night to get melatonin, number one. You're not getting melatonin, and you're also having problems with your urinary tract. So this means that you have problems with your prostate too. Actually, in the later slide, I'll show you how that impacts that. And this saw palmetto actually really supports and protects your cells and your DNA from free radical damage. This is why that prostate area, that cancer is very difficult to process, because the only way to do that is either through radiation or to do castration, which is getting rid of the testicles to treat prostate cancer. And the reason why we need to get rid of the testicles is because that is where androgens are made. So the androgens are hormones like testosterone and DHT. We need to take away that connection and not have the testicles provide these hormones to the prostate. It's a very close distance between that. So you want to cut that off, and that's through castration. Another thing that we can see with saw palmetto berries extract is it's really great for preventing hair loss. I know a lot of men in their 40s and 50s worried about their hair loss. If you are using Nutriol right now, I would definitely recommend, if you are a man in your 40s or 50s, please take the prostate formula with your Nutriol. It will really help with preventing the hair loss and strengthen that hair, because the testosterone that's produced over here will actually make your hair fall out. T-green 97. We know that there's a lot of research that's done that shows T-green 97 increasing our B cells and our natural killer cells in our body, helping to attack and prevent cancer growth and cancer proliferation. What this does is there's 97% polyphenols. It also decreases the free radical damage. It prevents cancer cells from developing and growing. Another thing is lycopene. So lycopene is not vitamin A, but it is available in tomatoes. But the thing is, you can't eat 70 kilos of tomatoes every single day. That is almost impossible. That would be the only thing that you will eat every day. And you will only get lycopene from that. But what lycopene does, it really decreases the risk of prostate cancer. And it's really great for blood pressure and really great for decreasing your high cholesterol. And selenium. last of all, I've mentioned selenium before, which is provided in the cordyceps sinensis, and this is really great for psychological functions. So, you know, it improves your mental health. It prevents mental decline. So people who are at risk of Alzheimer's, this is something that it is very important. You know, a lack of selenium in your system. Another thing is that it really promotes healthy skin and promotes thyroid health. So what we can see over here is this yellow thing in the middle. That is the prostate. So it is very easy to access through the anus. So if you, I myself have done a lot of prostate uh, prostate exams in my short time at the university and also at the hospital. But it's a very simple procedure. You insert one finger into the anus, and when you do a come here kind of motion, you can actually feel the back of that prostate. It shouldn't be bigger than the size of a walnut. If you know the size of a walnut, it shouldn't be bigger than that. It shouldn't have lumps, or it shouldn't have any sort of engorged areas or overly plump areas. But what happens when we grow older, as for men, is that this prostate will enlarge like this. So what happens is this prostate will put pressure on the bladder. So men, if you're feeling at nighttime where you have to frequently go to the bathroom, wake up in the middle of the night, but once you head to the bathroom, it's just a few drops, a few drops only, and nothing comes out, and you wake up multiple times per night. This is mostly from that pressure of the prostate, that enlarged prostate onto that bladder. And this becomes a problem for quite a lot of men. So if you are looking to decrease that kind of symptom and increase your sexual function as well, this prostate formula is incredible for you. What I think a lot of people over here already know R2. R square has been available for quite some time already. But I'm just going to go briefly into the function of R squared. So you have two different ones. One is recharge, which is the day, and renew, which is the night. And if you can see in here, what is a common ingredient or common key ingredient that we have is the cordyceps sinensis. And this cordyceps will provide you with energy, provide you with a lot of energy during the day. It will actually kickstart your cells for maximum energy production. So this pomegranate and this ginseng will help with that too. But what you have is this milk thistle in your renew. This is, it will lower your LDL, so your cholesterol levels. It will lower your blood glucose levels. It actually helps purify and restore your cells at nighttime while you sleep, so that when you wake up, you feel healthy and you feel refreshed and you feel renewed. And this is really great for some liver problems as well that people have, because a lot of the renewal and the purification goes through in your liver. And this, again, selenium. So selenium, it, like I said, decreases the stress, decreases oxidative stress. It increases your immune system, and it's really great for that thyroid. So your thyroid, it will really help with your mental health, and it will decrease your mental decline as you age. But what is important about R squared is not just all of these great functions that it has. It also has age lock technology. And why is age lock technology so incredible? I mean, if we take a look at the cell itself, the mitochondria is the place where we produce energy. So this ATP is this energy that we produce. And what we need is, not only do we physically need energy, we also need mental energy, and we need vitality. So this energy, this kind of cell, muscle cell, is not only your muscles, as in your physical muscles. Your heart is also a muscle. Your stomach, your intestines, these are all smooth muscles. Your penis, your vagina, these are also muscles. So what happens is you actually need a lot of energy. So when you produce energy, you actually produce a lot of toxins in your cells. And what happens when you grow older is your energy level goes down, as in you're not able to produce enough ATP, but you will still produce a lot of toxins. What age lock does is it resets your genetic expression to a much more youthful state. So what happens is you actually increase your energy production. How? By having more mitochondria in your cells. This means you have much more energy. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So this is your energy factory. This is where all the energy comes out of. The more energy factories you have in your cells, the more energy you will have in general. But what age lock does, not only does it increase the amount of energy that you can create through increasing the number of mitochondria in your cells, it also has the ability to take away the toxins from your cells and from your body. This is the power of age lock technology. And it really restores your cells into a much, much more youthful state. So what's really important for this function and to optimize gene expression is you really need to have great nutrition. And great nutrition comes from our basic, which is Life Pack. When you have Life Pack with R squared, this antioxidant can help you prevent that oxidative stress and will also give you nutrients that are critical for this cellular purification and also for this energy production. So if you want more and more effects from your R squared, the Life Pack is really, really essential. So today I really hope that you have heard and learned quite a lot. This is actually the end of my presentation for today. I would actually like to get a few Q&As if you would allow that, Uncle Philip. But
You
yeah,
are so
thank you.
good.
Thank you so much to my translators, Sherry and Tommy. I understand that there was a lot of science behind this and probably quite difficult terminologies, but thank you so much for your translation.
Usually when I attend a talk with all those science, I feel very sleepy. But this time is totally different. I feel more energetic from what you say, Gahe. Very good. By the way, I think we welcome people ask questions. You can raise your hands. You can raise your hands because at the bottom of our of the screen, there's reactions. You click there, you see the hand. When we see your hand, we can let you to ask orally, verbally, okay? Or you can write in the chat room if you have any questions. Take this chance. But by the way, before they ask any questions, I have questions myself.
Yeah.
So Gahe, we all know that Viagra has been in the market for many years and well acceptance to many people. And for performance and for the business wise is a huge numbers, we know that. I totally agree that our product actually is different direction from Viagra. Because I know New Skin and I also know Viagra. Yeah, but I don't want to tell you the in-depth. I know both areas. So I totally understand this is two different directions.
Yes,
now,
yes.
Could you summarize what is the competitive advantage of Venus over Viagra? Yeah.
Okay. So Viagra is a over-the-counter drug that you actually don't need a prescription to get, and Viagra has quite a few dosages. So a very low dosage and a very high dosage as well. And the thing is, you don't need a prescription from a doctor to get that over the counter. And you can get it based on what you want. So if you want a higher dosage, you can decide on your own that you would like that. But the thing is, most people don't know what dosage that they need. And because of that, a lot of men who have taken Viagra have had erections that last over 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, painful erection. And this is not pleasurable. I mean, you take Viagra for pleasure, right? But to have that kind of painful erection and not being able to enjoy that sexual experience, that is counterproductive. But what Viagra does, it was actually made by mistake. By researching a drug for the heart, Viagra was found. And when Viagra came out, it was such a hit. I mean, men who had erectile dysfunction, men who have problems with ejaculation, it was something that was able to help them with that. But the thing is, when you rely on a drug for erectile dysfunction and to cure erectile dysfunction, it actually makes you have more problems with being able to get this up because your body now relies on that. Another thing is this Viagra, it increases the blood flow, not only to your penis, but also to your brain. And it is not a controlled substance. So what happens is if you have an overdosage, you could even get, if you're prone to strokes, you could get blood vessels bursting in your brain immediately. Also, I've heard a lot of encounters where men have lost their hearing, lost their eyesight because of that pressure from the drug. And that is the difference between something that is a dietary supplement compared to something that is a drug. So a drug is not controlled in where it's providing that blood flow to. But for dietary supplement, it is something that you need to have, especially for new skin, all the research and clinical trials that are behind this is actually incredible. I mean, if you take a look at some of them, there are 6 or 7 different clinical trials for Venix itself. I think that's incredible. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question with the difference between Viagra and Venix.
What are the benefits that our Venix can provide, which Viagra do not have that asset? Which area?
Yeah, so Venix provides a lot of energy. A lot of energy, and this actually comes from the CS4, the cordyceps. So cordyceps provides a lot of vitamin B that provides you with that energy that you need and that your cells need. Another thing is this ginkgo. A really great blood flow throughout your body. So make sure that your blood vessels are flowing properly, and because it prevents that platelet from sticking, so your blood is not sticky anymore. So Viagra, I won't, definitely if you're taking anticoagulants or if you're taking Advil and stuff like this, please don't take Viagra. Please don't take Viagra, because this will definitely go into your brain and something could happen. I would rather not recommend that. Another thing for Venix is, I don't know if anyone's really tried Venix before, but I personally have tried Venix for personal reasons. But Venix, you know, I was wondering why I was working at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, and I was typing on my computer and writing notes and watching seminars at 5 in the morning. I had no idea why, and then I realized I took Venix the day before at like 6 p.m. I had so much energy. And this was because Venix was coming into Korea and we had to bring this in, and I wanted to try it to give some sort of experience, and that energy boost was amazing. I don't think I've ever felt that before, and it wasn't like a sexual pent-up desire kind of thing. It was more of just energy in general. So quite a lot of my customers, we actually recently had a baby born through Venix. uh it was a couple that had problems with even IVF, and because Venix was coming into Korea, they asked me to buy some from Hong Kong to give it to them so that they could try it first. And what resulted from them is a very beautiful baby. So, this is some of the testimonials that have come out from Venix, yeah, from the Hong Kong
So,
Venix.
so may I know, after we take the Venix,
Mhm.
Venix do not provide immediate effect. Is that true? Do not provide immediate effect,
Yeah.
So what about we expect a average how long we will see the performance and things like that?
So energy wise, you will actually be able to feel it quite immediately. I mean, it's almost like when you take overdrive or when you take a TR Go, the pre-workout, that it's like an immediate surge of energy that lasts for a very long time. So the endurance is incredible. I wish I took Venix when I played golf in Malaysia, because I think I would have gone hours and still would have been fine. But the energy you can feel quite immediately. But the effects for sperm count and sperm motility, that's a little bit different. And the reason why is because it takes up to 60 days to 90 days for spermatogenesis. So spermatogenesis is the production of sperm. So for new sperm to be produced, and that takes between 60 to 90 days. So that's around 3 months. 3 months time. So if you really want to feel the effects of maybe fertility wise, I would recommend between 12 weeks to 12 weeks or so.
Okay, good. So I want to know that let's say if we only focus on the sexual performance,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
we can take Venus, of course. Venus, of course. What about if we take Venus and R square and prostate? Will that effect would be even better?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. There's actually no problem. We have a lot of customers that take Y-span, Life Pack, Prostate Formula, Venix, R squared, and some TR90 and etc. So if you really do want to have that overall health benefit, overall energy production in your body, then I would recommend all three. I mean, it is recommended to have all three. I mean, there is no one particular that you should use. It really depends on the function that you need. So they might all seem similar, but the function is different. So if you are looking at fertility, then Venix, for sure. But if you're looking at overall energy, then R squared is really great. I mean, if Venix on top, then you will have best of both worlds. But if you're looking for prostate health and energy, then prostate formula and R squared.
Thank you, Kahe. If they have questions, may I have the people to handle the questions for Kahe?
No problem.
Yeah. Kahe. So we have a couple of questions here which are really good. There's one lady that said, friend not having period for a long time should take what supplements? Another lady, she said, for menopause, female is taking Astera 3 and Life Pack, Youth Span on R square, should take prostate formula.
Yeah. Just a warning: women should not be taking prostate formula. Women should not be taking prostate formula. It's actually for men only. Just like men should not be taking Estra. So these are the only two products that are specifically for the gender. Estra 3 is incredible, but it is not available in Korea because a lot of Korean women post-menopause have problems, and the hospitals can benefit monetarily, as in they can make a lot of money by the problems of women and men. So the fact that this Venix actually got into Korea was quite a big deal. But of course, they had to lower the dosages of the cordyceps and the ginkgo and etc. But for not having a period for a long time, I really need to know a few extra information, because is it because they're underweight? Is it because they're overweight? Is it because they're post-menopause? Is it because they're taking hormonal treatment? Is it because they're taking, some people who have cancer treatment, as in who's having radiation, will stop their period as well. So it really depends on that specific case. So I'm sorry, I cannot answer that because I don't have too much information.
Okay, thank you. Second question, we got 2 more questions. I think they're really good for you, Kahe. Next one is, R2 good for asthmatic people?
So for R2, R2 has cordyceps in it. So what we found was Cordymax in Hong Kong was sold out when this COVID situation came up immediately, because people knew that cordyceps are really great for your lung function. What I can say is that R-square will help, but it's not going to cure your asthmatic symptoms, but it will help alleviate some of those symptoms. So if you're having some difficulty breathing, or maybe if you need a lot of inhalers, you might reduce that, but it will help you along the way. I'm not going to say that it will cure that.
Okay, cool. Another one. Here we go. I was wondering who should take Venix HK and who should take Venix from Korea?
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're located. So if you are located in Korea, you can't get Venix Hong Kong or US unless you get it shipped in. So if you are maybe in your 30s and you're looking to have a family, then I would say take Venix 1 and Venix 2, because both of them will provide you with that sexual energy that you need, and also will provide you with the fertility that you need. If you are in a country that has Venix Hong Kong, then I would recommend that you just take Venix Hong Kong or Venix USA, depending on the country that you're in, because sometimes it's difficult for you to be shipping those products back and forth.
Okay, perfect. I think this was a really important one. It's from women can take Venix if they have tumors or tumors in the uterus.
So Venix, you're talking about cysts? Like, are they talking about cysts?
It doesn't say, it just says uterus.
Okay, for Venix, I would not recommend for people who have problems in that area. So if you are prone to cysts, or if you are prone to maybe even cervical cancer, or what I would recommend for that person is Tigrin and Reichmax.
Mm-hmm.
So Tigrin, Reichmax, G3. These are 3 incredible products that will help you with that. I had quite a few customers here that they were sick one day and they drank a whole bottle of G3, and then all of a sudden they went to the bathroom and there was just something that came out, and then they thought that they were totally sick, but it was just the cyst bursting from the G3, and it was gone after that. Mm-hmm. So these 3 products, if you're having problems in your in your uterus, and you're having cysts and you're having tumor cells over there, then the products that you should go in is Tigrin, Reichmax, and G3. And for Tigrin, you don't need Estra for that. Please don't take Estra for that. For Tigrin and Reichmax, I would say take double the dosage. Take double the dosage. It will help you along the way.
Perfect. Another one here. This is a good one. I think can Venix improve? What's that word? Psychosis disease.
Psychosis disease, as in psychologically developed erectile dysfunction. If that's the case, then the selenium in there would help it, but that one should be taken up with a psychologist more than myself. But what will help is also bone formula, because bone formula has quite a lot of calcium in it, and vitamin D, and magnesium. So calcium and magnesium really helps with your brain, because your brain really needs this calcium to help those neurons fire. And and cortisol will really help with that too.
Perfect. Okay, so I think we got the last question here. I'm going to combine these 2 if I can. Kahe, there's I have PCOS. I'm on LifePak and Y-Span and T-Green. I've tried R2 for quite some time at full dosage, and I noticed extreme acne breakouts. Is it normal? And then this one says, is it okay for them to use Venix?
What is PCOS?
Great question. Can you explain what is PCOS, please?
Oh, polycystic. Okay. Okay.
Oh, there you
And
go.
you're taking sorry, I can't see the question.
Oh, the question, I have to read it out. I'm on LifePak, Y-Span, and T-Green. I've tried R2 for quite some time at full dosage, and I noticed extreme acne breakouts.
So what the R square is doing is actually it's regulating your hormones quite a bit. So those acne breakouts that you're having is that regulation of so what is going on in your body is from this R squared, you're having a lot of heat that's coming out. So you're producing a lot of heat. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of mitochondria, a lot of energy, a lot of heat. So you can actually take double the dosage of tea green and also drink a lot more water. A lot more water. So you don't have enough water in you. If you want to take Venix too, like that's okay. But the thing is, I don't think you'd actually be needing it. You wouldn't be needing it at the time being.
Perfect.
But yeah, more water and a bit of extra tea green will really help. This is just your body's reacting to it and your body's producing a lot of heat and really dehydrated.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I hope that answered that question. And last one, I think there's one that says R2 have urine fibroids. Does R2 have urine fibroids?
Urine fibroids?
Fibroids.
Fibroids.
Is that a medical term? Fibroids. Fibroids. Fibroids.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but if they put that on the Facebook group, as in in the comment section, then I'll go and answer that after today.
Okay, excellent. Linda, you can post it in the Facebook group, okay?
Yeah, just put it on the comment under this video, and then I'll go in and I'll answer that later on today. I need to see the word.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for having me today. I hope I answered quite a lot of questions and helped you so much. So, Philip, do you?
Yeah, I want to closing. I want to do some closing.
Please do.
Actually, what I find out, Nucin has lots of very good products, like H-Lock Me or like LifePak Nano. But I find out for many years, not too many people talk about Venix. And what I find out from the business point of view, besides the personal point of view that we need it, from the business point of view, actually I can find out the potential of the market from the Venix. It's really underestimated so far. I don't think we did put enough effort to promote the market. So that's why I decided to invite Kahe. She's the right person to talk about our product. But you know what? In order to explore the market, it's not just to talk about it. Sometimes people don't like to listen to what you talk. They like to listen to your stories. Although we cannot do demonstration about this product, but we have to share stories. So that's why I suggest, if you understand what Kahe shared with us today, we should take the Venix. No matter you are women, girls, men or boys, what I can find out. I myself, I did talk Venix before. I did talk, and I just want to share with you what is my feeling. Okay, I just want to use one word: speechless. I just want to use one speech, and I'm not joking. Okay, speechless. And then you have to find out yourself. So what I want to say: take the product, get the result for personal reason and also for business reason. And actually, Kahe, you do a very good job today. We learned a lot, and we are more confident to take the product. And we are looking forward actually for you to come back again to share with other Pharmanex products through your specialized knowledge. Before we close the meeting today, what about we take a group photos with our type 5 hands with Kahe, and so that we can send photos back to Kahe, you know. How about that? So would you please turn on your camera and we push the type 5 hands, and I think this is really good for Kahe and for you. You know, we will send the pictures. We will upload the photos to our type 5 online global training. So may I have the host to do the screenshot for us? Yeah. So make sure that every page, the second page, the third page. So if you want to retrieve these photos, you can go to our type 5 online global training group page, and you will see it, and you can download the photos and send to your friends, or you keep it for record. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for the translation, and thank you, Uncle Philip, for having me here. I've learned so much from you, and you've made me what I am today.
You are the best, Kahe.
Thank you so
Everybody
much.
like it, I tell you. I enjoy so much. Thank you, Kahe. Thank you, our translator. Yeah, Dami. Thank you, Dami. You're good. Thank you, Sherry. Very good. Thank you, Darren and Ray for host. And thank you for all the participants. We see you soon. Thank you. See you next week.